3 days before Christmas, I didn't close the window tight enough, and my sister Willow caught a cold. My parents immediately kicked me out, ordering me to go into the woods in the middle of the night to chop down a Christmas tree. Meanwhile, Mom and Dad hovered around Willow, asking her endless questions and fussing over her. I didn't cry, didn't argue, I just grabbed the saw and walked into the biting wind and snow, heading for the woods. I didn't find a Christmas tree, but I found a man. His leg was horribly stuck between two rocks, bloody and terrifying. When he saw me approach, he rasped, "Little girl, just get me out of here, and I'll grant you anything you wish." I stared blankly, my eyes focusing. "Really? Then I want you to be my dad." The words had barely left my lips when I realized the man in front of me had passed out. After thinking it over, I pulled him free anyway. I hoisted his unconscious body, limping my way back home. Just as I was about to tell my parents what had happened, my dad's slap was my welcome. "Where's your Christmas tree? Christmas is almost here. How are we supposed to celebrate without one?" Mom frowned, her eyes sweeping over me like I was something disgusting she'd found on her shoe. "Who is this man? Why did you bring him back?" I pursed my lips, wanting to explain. In this weather, he could freeze to death if left outside for one night, let alone with those injuries. Willow, however, suddenly skipped over, spotting a bracelet on the man's wrist. "Wow, that bracelet is so pretty. I want it." Willow was the family's little princess. Whatever she asked for, Mom and Dad would agree. Sure enough, Mom reached out to unfasten the injured man's bracelet. Ugh, why won't this thing come off? Never mind, let him stay here for the night. Once he wakes up, we'll just ask him for it. After all, we saved him. Willow clapped her hands happily. "Yay, I'll have a new bracelet tomorrow. Riley, remember to give Max the leftover steak from dinner tonight." Max was our dog. I hadn't even eaten dinner yet, but Willow wanted to give my share to the dog. At that moment, Willow and Dad were helping bandage the man's wounds. Then she suddenly turned to me and said, "Oh right, Riley, you haven't eaten, have you? But Max hasn't eaten either." Just then, Grandma Elsie snapped, "She doesn't need to eat. She can't even get a Christmas tree right. What good is she?" Right then, the man we'd rescued finally regained consciousness and slowly opened his eyes. Willow looked at his wrist and said petulantly, "I saved you, so you have to repay me. I want that bracelet." Without hesitation, the man took off the bracelet and placed it on Willow's soft, pale hand. "I'm Matthias Blackwood. My friends and I had an accident while on vacation. Thank you for saving my life." I stared intently at my adopted dad, hoping he'd recognize that I was the one who saved him, but his gaze remained solely on Willow, completely missing me. My hands, clenched tightly at my sides, slowly relaxed. It was always like this. Mom and Dad, and Grandma Elsie too. Everyone only loved innocent, lively Willow, who was like a doll. No one ever liked quiet, plain me. Willow got her bracelet and skipped off to walk Max. Dad looked at the man impatiently. "Well, if that's the case, then hurry and have your friends come pick you up. It's almost Christmas. You're just being a burden." "My apologies, I can't reach my friends," Matthias said awkwardly. Eventually, he promised to transfer money to my parents once he returned home, and that's how he temporarily stayed with us. Grandma Elsie rolled her eyes at me from the side. "It's all your fault. You couldn't find a Christmas tree, and instead you brought trouble into the house." Grandma Elsie threw a dish rag right in my face. "Get out there and wash the dishes." I quietly dished out a bowl of mushroom soup for Matthias. I was a little reluctant. It was supposed to be my dinner tonight. That night, my parents made Matthias sleep in the storage room. He didn't know that the storage room was actually my room. Matthias looked surprised when he asked me, "This is your room? Are you their daughter? How come you don't even have a bed?" In the dim light, I didn't answer his question. Matthias rubbed his temples, a hint of distaste on his face as he lay down on the floor. I curled up tighter, hugging myself, trying to stay warm. To be honest, I regretted it a little. I'd saved him hoping to finally have a dad who loved me, but my adopted dad didn't even remember me. Of course, compared to cute, pretty Willow, I was dirty and thin. Since I didn't get a good dad, maybe next time the heavens would send me a mom. Drifting in and out of consciousness, I finally fell asleep. Around 5 in the morning, I woke up naturally. "You're awake! Up so early!" Matthias behind me looked at me curiously. Dark circles under his eyes suggested he hadn't slept all night. "Yeah, I have to chop wood, shovel snow, feed Max, lots of chores to do. Before Mom and Dad wake up, I also have to cook breakfast. Don't worry, I'll save a portion for you first." Without waiting for his reaction, I turned and walked out the door. It was almost dawn. I needed to get today's Christmas tree branches chopped. Otherwise, Grandma Elsie would hit me again. Trudging through the thick snow, I moved with difficulty. The beam of my flashlight swept over the deep snow, landing on a dark shadow behind a tree. I remained calm, expertly shielding the light. There were always strange creatures scurrying around in the backwoods. Sometimes, if I was unlucky, I'd encounter a wild boar. But I was used to it. I didn't get scared. Just as I was about to turn and slip away, a faint call came from behind me. "Is anyone there? Hello? Please don't let me freeze to death out here." Only then did I realize it was a woman. Could it be the universe sent me a mom? The woman and I met each other's gaze. She had gorgeous wavy hair and blinked her big eyes at me. Where did this kid come from? Am I hallucinating from the cold? "Are you in trouble? Do you want to come back with me?" I boldly asked. Seeing the woman nod frantically, I let her follow me. On the way back, I learned her name was Serafina Thorne, and she was also here on vacation. She had gotten separated from her friends, and heavy snow had blocked the roads. Her car was stuck in the snow, so she couldn't drive down the mountain to find help, which was how she'd stumbled upon me. Reaching our doorstep, I stopped. "I can let you stay, but you have to be my mom and take me away." Serafina froze. She looked at my tattered cotton coat and my basket full of branches, then asked, "Do you live here alone?" My eyes welled up. "No, Dad, Mom, Grandma Elsie, and Willow, they're all here." Serafina sighed. "Little one, if you already have a mom, then I can't be your mom. Your own mom would be sad." I clenched the hem of my coat, shaking my head. "If you don't want to, that's fine. Come with me, but be careful not to let them see you or they'll kick you out," I said, leading her to the storage room. The moment I pushed the door open, Matthias's gaze snapped over, instantly freezing. Serafina rolled her eyes. Matthias's mouth twitched. What a coincidence. They knew each other. Later, I brought breakfast to the storage room. Serafina's eyes fell on the lingering red mark on my face, and she gasped in surprise. "Someone hit you?" I pretended not to hear, placing a few slices of bread on the table. "Breakfast, you two share it. I'm going to do chores." Serafina quickly grabbed my arm. "What about you? Aren't you eating?" "I already ate," I lied, but my stomach uncooperatively rumbled. She She didn't eat last night either, Matthias sighed, looking at me with pity. Do your family abuse you? Serafina frowned. They were about to say more when Grandma Elsie's shriek came from outside. Riley, where did you disappear to? Get over here and do your chores. I quickly went into the yard and Grandma Elsie shoved a knife into my hand, telling me, kill this chicken. The knife slipped, slicing my hand, and then slit the chicken's throat, spraying blood all over my face. Grandma Elsie didn't even acknowledge the cut on my hand. Instead, she cursed me. You can't even do this simple thing right. Are you deliberately trying to make me angry? No lunch for you today. I stumbled back into the storage room dazed. My whole body trembled as if plunged into an ice bath. Serafina had heard the commotion outside and had been peeking through the door crack. She rushed to bandage my hand, her expression frantic. When she grasped my wrist, she visibly flinched. My arm was so thin, just bone, and my outstretched hands were dark and calloused, covered in rough skin and festering frostbite. From outside, I heard my parents' and Willow's conversation. The snow is so pretty, I want to take pictures. Okay, but baby, you need to dress warmly so you don't catch a cold. Where's Riley? She grew up in the mountains, let her guide us. Why bother with her? That child isn't close to us, it's awkward to have her around. Serafina's face fell. Those are your parents? I guess so, I mumbled, then mechanically walked back out. After repeating the day's chores, I didn't forget to sneak some food for the two in the storage room. That night, Serafina refused to sleep on the bed with Matthias. Instead, she lay down on the floor with me. She felt my forehead and found it burning hot. She quickly took off her down jacket and wrapped it around me. An unprecedented scent and warmth enveloped me. I froze for a moment, and then tears fell first. I instinctively wanted to call her Mom, but I held back. Perhaps it was the fever, but my heart felt warm that night. When I woke up the next day, it was already bright outside. Grandma Elsie was yelling in the yard, and I scrambled to my feet out of habit. I overslept. Serafina and Matthias also heard the commotion and tried to stop me, but they watched as I staggered out, falling right in front of Grandma Elsie. You worthless piece of garbage, getting lazier and lazier, aren't you? She gave a mocking laugh, tugging my hair and dragging me over. With one hand, she snatched up the snow shovel nearby and slammed it hard onto my back. I gasped, doubled over in pain, breathing heavily. I'm so bored, Grandma Elsie, I want to build a snowman. Willow beside her acted as if she hadn't seen Grandma Elsie's furious beating. A sly look crossed her face and she pointed at me. Let Riley be the snowman. She scooped up a ball of snow and smeared it on my face. Then she innocently called out to Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad, come play. My parents walked over, completely ignoring me, barely clinging to life on the ground, and dotingly helped Willow put on her gloves. Be careful, sweetie, don't catch a cold. Willow giggled, shoveling snow and piling it on top of me. Icy snowflakes slid down my collar. My face was pale with cold and I couldn't stop trembling. But my parents' scolding reached my ears. It's just a little snow, can't you cooperate with your sister? Suddenly a voice cut in. You don't want to raise this child, do you? I'll take her. How much do you want? Name your price.